Hello, and welcome to a live studio audience episode of We Only Look Thin. I am Katherine Weigel. I am one of your hosts.
Yeah.
I am a Tiny Habits certified coach. I am a Thrive Global certified coach.
Yeah.
I gotta cut it down, use initials instead of...
Oh, I'm just so certified.
Well,
this is taking so much time.
The problem with Tiny Habits coach is it's THC, which I'm not. Their
Oh,
initials
yeah,
go in
no.
bad directions. So I'm a Tiny Habits certified coach. I have lost over 100 pounds. I've kept it off for a really long time. I am super excited, and I am here today with
Donald Weigel, and my certifications are easy because I have none.
Stop selling yourself short. You're the man on the ones and twos.
I've lived it though. I've been
Yeah,
out there on
the
the streets
University of
living it
Life.
while you've been like in your high, ivory tower classroom covered with ivy colored.
I was wondering what I was covered with.
Yeah, no, your ivory tower is
Okay.
covered with ivy. It's an ivory tower.
Okay.
And you've been studying the books. I've been out here on the streets living it because I lost 100 pounds.
Whoa.
And I've kept it off.
Man, we're the good cop, bad cop duo of weight loss.
Yeah, I don't know why I got so aggro.
It's fine.
I don't know. I think I felt like attacked by your certifications.
Sorry. They're our certifications. We're married, so you get 50% of my certifications.
Is that how that works? Oh, that's
sure,
great.
it is. But
Oh,
this
I
is
love that.
This is We Only Look Thin.
Yeah,
We're a
and like I said, I've lost a bunch of weight. I kept it off for a long time, and we're here to talk about it.
We are, and we're coming on down. We're inviting you to come on down with us to participate in today's game show.
Yeah, and that game show is the Newlywed Game.
Newlywed Game. Was there anything better than thinking you would win some sort of ATV vehicle when you were a kid homesick from school?
Yeah, I just did a little bit of research for this episode and watched about half of an old, like early 1970s episode. Well, they're only 20 minutes long, so I watched about 10 minutes of it.
The Newlywed Game,
without
everybody.
commercials. And it's pretty dated. Let me tell you some of those questions. One of the questions was, will your wife say that she looks married or looks single?
Oh, I was actually too busy looking at Mr. Bob Eubanks. I think he might have been an early crush of mine. He's a good-looking man.
Oh, that's
he was
interesting.
A fine-looking host
That is
of a show.
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, do you look single or do you look not single? Well,
yeah, I don't know. I don't think that that's like really a thing, actually. Maybe in the early 70s it was a thing. Yeah, and one of the guys was really insulting about his wife looking married now. Just sort of like she's really taken to this looking married thing.
Yeah,
didn't sound good.
We had a friend who will remain nameless, who at one point we had him over for Thanksgiving or something. He's like, "You're so lucky you're married. Like you and Donald, you can just let yourselves go now. Like I still need to work on myself." I was a little insulted, but maybe also there was some truth in that.
Yeah, there might have been. There's a lot of things that you gain when you're in a new relationship.
There are, but and I know we're talking newlywed gain.
Yeah.
But we're also, I'm going to take us over to the other studio, Studio B, and take you over to the Family Feud for this one.
Yeah, We Only Look Thin is expanding. We have the studio that is our living room where we usually record, and now we're moving to Studio B.
Yep, Studio B, and Mr. Richard Dawson, not a heartthrob, but he was a good host of the Family Feud, and so the top 5 things that you gain in a new relationship, a new marriage. We're
I didn't know
taking
we
it
were
over
doing
there.
this.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were doing this.
Yeah, survey says.
Yeah.
So number the lowest one doesn't it go from 5
number
to
5.
1?
Yeah, the most popular answer is number 1.
Okay, so I'll leave number 1 to you, but the bottom 4 are in-laws. Sorry.
I was drinking some coffee and I almost just spit it all over the microphone.
Sorry. Okay. You get in-laws, A new best friend. Oh, I bet all the ladies in the audience said that. The dudes probably didn't.
You really are my best friend.
New traditions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Health insurance.
Oh.
Zing. I don't know.
We just got that when we got together.
Yeah, we just, I don't know. I think,
It was like it came with the marriage
certificate. But Donald, on the board, which I'm not sure who I'm trying to sound like right now, but on the board, what would you say the number one gain survey says?
Weight.
You gain weight.
Yeah. And sadly, I did some research because it's kind of my thing. I like studies and numbers.
It never occurred to me to research this episode.
And there was one study I found. It was a poll which questioned the behaviors and weight gain trends of 2,000 people in relationships, and there's 2,000 people that were surveyed. The average poll participant had gained 36 pounds since they first started dating their current significant other, and they gained 17 of those pounds in the first year alone.
Oh, boy.
And then this is the really, sort of shocking one for me, that there was another study that found that happily married couples actually gained more weight than unhappily married ones.
That explains
early days of their relationship.
Why I gained 130 pounds.
I made you so happy.
Oh, so happy.
It was just bliss. Those early days. And I think the answer here, however, is clear. It has revealed itself.
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I'm very scared right now.
Don't fall in love. Just avoid love altogether. Like, I think Romeo and Juliet might be alive today had they not fallen in love with each other.
Wait.
They would be about 450 years old.
I thought you were going to say 450 pounds.
But they would be alive today if they just had not.
You know that those were fictional characters, right? It's not.
You're stepping all over my bit here.
Sorry.
I had this planned way before we started recording.
They would have died of cholesterol-induced comas or something.
No, if they hadn't fallen in love, they would still be alive because they wouldn't have gained weight, which obviously was... I've never read or seen Romeo and Juliet, so I don't know why they died, but...
You don't know. If you know why they died, survey says...
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness.
Oh, we're beyond that, my friend. We have gone over into the obscure. But yeah, new relationships. I'll talk about mine for a moment.
You have a new relationship you're going to tell me about?
No, the old relationship that was once new.
Oh, yeah.
We're almost at 25, aren't we, Donald?
Yeah, our 25th anniversary is coming up fast.
Yeah, speaking of other things at 25, it's been 25 minutes since we made a good point in this episode.
Yeah, at least 25.
At least 25. But honestly, when when one is in the blush of a new relationship, whether it is your first or your last new relationship.
I never thought of it like that. This is my last relationship.
Yeah. But when you're in a new relationship, maybe you're going out to eat, maybe you're having brunch, maybe you're doing that thing, making breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
Maybe you are going out and trying new restaurants now that you're in a new relationship.
Well, and I think food is a way in which couples bond, and I think you and I really bonded over food because I think we both struggled with our food, for lack of a better term, our food addictions, our food issues for most of our lives, and I think that it was just sort of, hey, I found somebody else who also just loves to make everything revolve around food and eating. Like, let's do this.
Well, and sort of like that Ouija board thing of nobody really makes the decision. It's just sort of like, hey, let's go out to eat. I'm tired. I'm whatever. And we enabled one another's proclivities. Proclivity.
Yeah,
darn it. I tried to use that word before and it didn't work.
I think you did a great job with it. And, we're partners. And so I came in and helped out at the end there.
You're very supportive.
But I think also, if we're being honest, can I be honest?
You may.
With you and with our listeners? I think that in hindsight, and I don't think I would have consciously admitted this to myself at the time, but I used to, I know I used to, and I think you did too, sabotage, the situation. Like there would be times where you would be like, okay, we are doing this. We're going to eat well. We're going to go to the gym. And, then I would be like, what might be nice would be like Chinese takeout.
Yeah.
And you, I think, would do the same thing to me. And I could almost never say no.
Yeah.
When the idea, it wouldn't be like, hey, let's get takeout. It would be like, you know what I could really go for? You know what? I could also go for that. Huh, that's interesting. Takeout.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, early in relationships, even when you're married, I mean, I didn't want to tell you my weight. Yeah. For the first 20 years we were
that's true.
married.
That's true. I didn't know how much you weighed.
No, we did not talk about that. And I think in new relationships, you start out with, what is your religion? Maybe that, obviously I haven't been on a first date in a really long time. Yeah. What is your religion?
Not in this century.
But you talk about religion, sports teams, politics. Are you a cat dog or a fish dog? No, what was I going to say?
A cat dog or a fish dog person? Yeah.
Are you a cat person or a fish person? Wait. I am not on a good first date right now.
Cat person or a dog person.
There we go.
Yeah.
Man, you are really good at this. But you talk about sports teams and religion and that kind of thing, but you don't talk about finances. You don't talk about food addiction. That's not really a first date sort of thing. And I felt a lot of shame around my disordered eating.
Hey, do you secret eat behind cabinets? I do too.
No, but it's almost like you're in a relationship. You've heard relationships last a long time, but you don't really go into those darker parts of yourself as much. And so we keep so much secret.
I just think I think that I would have been afraid that you would have just immediately broken up with me and stopped seeing me in those early days if I had just gone straight for the food issues. And also even 25, 28 years ago, whatever it was.
You don't remember?
I don't remember how long we dated. I think that I don't think I had a real grasp of what my issues were. I don't think I really understood all of the things that I was doing.
No, and when we feel shame about our food addictions that we don't even know we have, it, like you said, it's not something that really comes up in conversation. And I think too, speaking of the Newlywed Game, I think I had an idea of what a marriage was supposed to be. It's sort of a cartoon shallow version. It's like, oh, well, you get married and then you're married. And what do married women do? Well, they cook for their husbands. I mean, and this was a long time ago.
Yes, they do.
This was a long time ago, but you're just like, well, I'm the homemaker and this is what, I show love with acts of service. That is my love language. So acts of service is, I'm going to make us dinner. I'm going to make us breakfast. You actually used to make really good breakfasts. High caloric, delicious breakfasts.
High caloric indeed.
But also that quality time together is, let's go out to eat. Let's go, wine tasting. Let's go to Las Vegas and eat stuff, because that's what you do in Vegas, right? That's what they're known for, food, not gambling.
My goodness. I mean, but seriously, on a recent episode, we talked about how food is my number one fun. And that used to be what I looked forward to the most about going to Las Vegas. It wasn't seeing shows. It wasn't gambling. It was all of the all you can eat buffet situations. And all of the restaurants that were just everywhere.
Well, and the Cinnabon that was at the gate exit of the at the airport. Other people stop at the slots, and I stop to get the giant cinnamon bun as big as my face to eat, which actually was my first priority.
Yeah, for sure.
So when we're in a new relationship, whether that starts today, maybe this is day one of your new relationship, congratulations, you're such a cute couple.
Yeah. Yeah, you look great together.
Yeah. Or 25 years ago, when you're happy and when things feel, new and fresh and exciting, when life is good, motivation might be low to really focus on activities you're going to do together or policies you're going to make around food. That's a total bummer.
For sure.
And maybe we think we'll magically get all of the food out of our system, but never in 40 plus years did food ever get out of my system.
Yeah, there was this notion, maybe this is an urban legend, but there was this notion when I was a kid that a way to get a kid like to stop smoking was to like put them in a closet and make them smoke a whole carton.
It was from a movie, but yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's that sort of idea. I think that I've done that a lot of times where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to eat all of this stuff that's here already that I already have purchased. I'm going to eat it all. I'll get it out of my system. And then tomorrow I'm going to like get on the straight and narrow.
Yeah. And as we're listening to this, I'm not listening to this.
I'm listening to this.
But as this is coming out, we're approaching Valentine's Day. And this is a time for chocolates and dinners and cheese. And
yeah, did we not mention that? Part of why we're doing a sort of love relationship theme episode is because Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
It's barreling down upon us.
Yeah, it seems like we were just doing our New Year's episodes, and now we're into Valentine's Day.
Right. But whatever stage of a relationship you're in, it can be really hard to bridge a subject like weight gain, weight loss, and actually getting deep into the why behind your weight. And with me, I know I gained probably 30 or 40 pounds the first year that we were married.
Yeah.
And then went on to gain another 100 pounds because I was going to school and I had all of these excuses. But it's really hard to be honest with a new relationship about your underlying issues. And I didn't even know I had an issue with secret eating or emotional eating until my 40s. Even though I was doing it, I never talked about it. And that shame and secrecy just perpetuated decades of marriage of disordered eating behavior.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, one of the things I talk about a lot, because I think it is crucial, is that I didn't realize how much I was lying to myself for all of those years. And I didn't realize how much I was sort of hoping that Catherine would be the one to initiate like getting takeout or, you know, going off our diet, or, you know, so that I didn't have to feel like it was on me. And then, you know, when she didn't, it was me trying to drop hints to get her to get back on board with us, you know, eating poorly and not exercising, and did that for years and years and years. And I think that, you know, this is a lot easier said than done, but really look at your behavior and look at your role in the relationship and in the enabling each other and in the weight gain, and realize that there is a really strong possibility, if you're anything like me, that you are lying to yourself and you're using lots of things as excuses to be able to indulge.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, there are relationships in which your partner might not have a weight issue at all, or might be able to eat all the calories in the world and not gain any weight. And I know that there are people who have resentment about that. Like, it's so easy for him to lose. Or he or her or they or whomever,
right,
to maintain their weight. And it's not fair. And none of this is about fairness. It's about taking responsibility for yourself in the relationship.
Yeah, I see all the time online on, you know, Reddit groups and such, people who talk about how they want to keep up with their significant other and in terms of food. And it's just like Catherine was just saying, it's just not fair. Like, I can't eat the way they do. And, you know, realizing that not everybody can eat the same way and maintain their weight, you know, it is unfortunate. Most women cannot eat as much as most men and maintain, and it's not fair and it's not right, but unfortunately that's the way it is. And it's the same thing. I could eat a lot more when I was 100 pounds heavier and still, no, but I mean, like, I could still lose weight and eat a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, and also part of it is when you're that much overweight, you burn a lot more with smaller amounts of movement. And it's on, you know, it's one of those not fair things about facts and science and physics.
I'm going to call the wambulance right now. Boo-hoo, everybody.
But you have to, you know, it is important to realize that you are not everybody else, and that you have to eat at a way that works for you in order to achieve your health and fitness goals.
Exactly. So now that we've, let's see, check off the list. We've made references to the 1970s. We've got in the chuckles.
We made references to the late 1600s.
Oh,
also.
wow. We went in the way back.
Yeah.
But now we're going to give you some suggestions of how you might be able to change your relationship with your significant other and your relationship with food.
Sorry, all of you history buffs out there, late 1500s is when Romeo and Juliet was written. Sorry.
How do you even know that? You don't even know who they are.
I misspoke
they weren't
when
written.
I said 1600s.
They lived, man.
Yeah, that's right. But one thing that we would suggest, and this can be hard in relationships, but I think it is important that you really talk to each other and that you make policies with each other about food. Like a couple of examples are, we don't order food at the spur of the moment. Like we just have a policy, like we don't do that. We only order on the third Friday of the month is the only time that we're going to order takeout. And you make, whatever policies you need to make it work, and you don't break them. And you stick to it.
Right. And another thing that I had an issue with, and I've talked about this before, is grown-ups have a cocktail after work.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you do, man. It's like, that's what we grew up with. I mean, I didn't grow up having a cocktail after work, but
yeah, it's funny. My parents hardly ever drank, but yet from television and movies, I'm under the impression that this is what adults do.
They make dinner and they have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
But we now have a policy of we only have a cocktail on the weekends. And it works out much better for me to limit my alcohol consumption, even though it seems like, well, other grown-ups get to do it and it's how people unwind. It does not serve my health purposes.
Yeah. And, typically, just to be clear, like it is one drink that is somewhere around 150, 180 calories. It's not, a 500 calorie, hurricane.
Well, I tend to enjoy something with a little
All right,
more
well, this is me.
calories.
This is what I do.
Right, so we do different things.
Yeah, we do different things.
We're on the same path, but taking different shoes.
And we're segueing into it is okay to do things differently, but at the same time together.
There we go. So Donald and I often eat at different times. We eat different foods. He's vegetarian and I'm not.
I know you were talking about how your idea of marriage was that the wife cooked for the husband. And I don't think that we have done that in 7 years or something.
No, and life is much better. Our marriage is strong. Is that why our marriage is stronger?
Maybe. I just sort of make my own food, and then you make food for you and our daughter. And I don't have to deal with our daughter's food, which is great for me.
Well, but and I think different family dynamics and kids and, who's staying at home and who's working longer hours. When Donald is on set, he might work really long hours, so we're eating at different times. So pay attention to your family dynamic. And there are options to make a main portion that is for the whole family, but then have your own sides or the things that you can eat that fit your plan while everyone else is eating something as a main.
Absolutely. And another thing to do is really work together so that you're not caught, and I put caught in quotes, without food that's on your plan. Like I used to, again, this is one of those things I can't believe I used to do, but being honest with myself, I would self-sabotage all the time. Oh no, I don't have any food at home. I have no choice but to get takeout. Oh no, I couldn't go to the grocery store and plan.
I like the cartoon version of us that's just like, oh man, what are we going to do?
But I used to act like,
I know,
like it was happening
Surprise.
To me. Like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. I don't have anything, so I've got no choice but to order pizza. And the truth was I was just not making any effort to plan ahead.
Yeah.
And, I would go out grocery shopping or whatever, and I would intentionally not eat, and then it would take too long, and it'd be like, oh boy, I've got no choice but to grab something, fast on the run.
Yeah.
That was the 2,000 calorie surprise from the local fast food place. And I would do that to myself all the time. So really, planning together, having a frozen meal on hand, having something that's always there, for those lucky moments when when you need it, that keeps you on the plan that you really want to be on.
Well, and part of that planning too is looking ahead together and seeing what food opportunities you have on the horizon. We have some events next weekend, a kid's birthday party, and then the Super Bowl is coming up. And usually we plan ahead to have something more decadent for the Super Bowl. But we also generally rebound for the first half of the Super Bowl and then have a treat. So it's sort of working together to make sure that we still get the indulgences that we want and plan for, but not in a way that is suddenly, every single day is a party. I know every day is like we're newly in a relationship, Donald. It's kind of gross, but that doesn't...
It's kind of gross.
I don't know. Our daughter gets mad that we actually love each other. See?
I know. It's weird.
I know. It's maybe it's not dramatic enough or cool for her cool kid friends.
Yeah, I'd like to think that she's pretending to be upset because it's not cool to appreciate that her parents love each other.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's kind of gross, man.
But we digress. But
you're ruining my life.
Yeah, exactly. Part of this, moving on, is to is to really talk to each other about your growth mindset and try and build that together. Really focus on the kinds of people that you want to be in the future. And I think it's important to daydream together about, hey, when we're in our 70s, we still want to be able to climb the steps at the Machu Picchu or not that we've done that yet.
No, but we've climbed steps places.
Yeah, but we still want to be able to do those things and still want to be able to travel those things and still want to be able to carry our own groceries up the stairs and just even little mundane things like that. But dreaming together of a future where we still have our mobility and our zest for going out to life rather than just sitting and watching TV all the time.
I'm not sure zest is one of the adjectives that I would give either of us. But yeah, I mean, for other people, zest might...
We're zestless.
We're zestless. Yeah, I don't see that as an adjective that really resonates with me, but I find you zesty. You're good.
I find you zesty.
Gross. Sounds like a salad dressing.
That was what got you to date me in the first place.
Zest.
I was like, hey, you're pretty zesty.
Zest de vivre.
Oh my God.
No,
see, you start speaking French and you lose me.
But I think that initial, that not shyness, I guess, but that sort of keeping your cards close to the vest when you're first married, of not really wanting to share what I struggle with, what my sensitivities are, my, the weight on the scale. I think when we're starting out, there's so much that we keep from one another because we want to show the best parts of ourselves. But then the honeymoon's over, man.
Yeah.
And getting to that part of any relationship where you're actually just honest with one another, it really does change the relationship. And I think in the last 7 years that we've sort of knocked down these barriers, it's really strengthened our relationship where we can actually have those deeper conversations and admit, the secret eating and really focusing on the kind of person you want to be, the kind of relationship you want to have, and knowing that you don't actually have to do the same things every day.
Yeah.
Donald and I have followed different plans, but support one another and are there for one another to bounce ideas off of. And it really helps strengthen our relationship to know that we don't have to go and do everything exactly the same.
Well, and I think to that, to add to that, I think the final sort of, point/suggestion I wanted to make is we spent many years going on diets together.
Yeah.
And it would be like, okay, we're going to do this diet and we're going to lose some weight and then we're going to go right back to where, and we would never really like, follow through the whole way.
Yeah.
Now we work to build a lifestyle together.
Yeah.
And even though we do somewhat different plans, we eat different foods, we are working together to build this healthy, consistent, sustainable lifestyle together rather than just temporarily going on a diet. And I think that's also been a real key to why we've been able to, lose the weight and keep it off for as long as we have.
So I know we've thrown a lot at you this episode, but really do think about what policies you might be able to make that would benefit your relationship. Make sure you plan ahead for those special occasions that really do matter, like Valentine's Day, if that is your bag. Or
bringing it back.
Yeah.
Or the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Be okay with having separate meal plans, different things that you do. Look for activities that you can do on your own and together. It's not like you have to do everything together all of the time. And really, what future do you see for yourselves? What trajectory are you currently on, and how could you shift that?
Yeah.
Because it really does matter. This isn't a vanity project. This isn't something to be embarrassed about. This is one of the core issues in a relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're looking at catfish or dog cats or whatever I said at the beginning.
Don't get catfished in your relationship. Yeah.
But really, this isn't just about, keeping secrets from one another. What, you're going to say something?
No, I actually wrote down, you said cat dog or fish dog.
Okay, thank you. Donald keeps copious notes to use against me in a court of law.
That's right. Your Honor, on January.
So get out of that honeymoon phase. That's right. I'm saying it. Get out of that honeymoon phase and start getting real with one another, because our relationship has gotten better. And I look forward to getting to our 25th wedding anniversary feeling the same way.
I look forward to that too. And I also look forward to you, the listener, listening to more episodes of this show. Thank you so much for listening to this one. We are grateful to you. It is amazing to me that people out there from all over the world listen to this show every week, and I really am grateful for it.
Yeah.
You can find our episodes. All of them still are available wherever you find podcasts, and also on our website at any time at weonlylookthin.com.
Yep, and if you are at weonlylookthin.com, you can click the link to join our support group to find out more about Wolt Place. We Only Look Thin Place is a Facebook-based accountability group for women. Sorry, bros.
Sorry, dudes.
There just wasn't much participation with men in the group when we've had them before.
We had some men in the early days. And
lovely men. Great men.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just, I don't know.
The vibe is just different.
I don't know what it is with us dudes, but...
Bros. Yeah. Well, I think you can.
I really like to peruse the Lose It group on Reddit, for example, and that sort of thing. But the participation in our group is different.
Yeah, no, and I like that We Only Look Thin Place, Wolt Place, is only women, because I feel like there's a certain amount of candor that you can have where you might not want to share with bros.
Yeah.
So Donald is an admin in the group, but he never goes in, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's good.
Yeah. Occasionally somebody will tag me in a pickle-related post
it's generally
or something, and then I will go
posts.
in and respond.
Exactly. But join Wolt Place for accountability. It is not a weight loss plan, but it is a place for support, fellowship, and serious candor about the struggles that we do face in things that I didn't even know were problems, like boundaries and secret eating. We do Zoom meetings. We do challenges. We have some subgroups for additional support. And we also have 2 subscription options, a monthly option with a 3-day complimentary trial and a 3-month subscription with a 7-day complimentary trial to see if Wolt Place is right for you.
And your Zoom presentations are fantastic.
Thanks.
And I know I'm biased because I love you and we're married and all of that, but I learned so much just from your Zoom presentations.
I know. I see all those years in corporate America enjoying PowerPoint have really paid off for me.
Yeah, it really has. And if you would like to send us a PowerPoint deck, you can email us to weonlylookthin@gmail.com. We enjoy episode suggestions. We've taken many listener emails and turned them into episodes. We also will answer your questions there. We like compliments. And you can also interact with us on social media. You can find us at We Only Look Thin on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yep. And if you have a couple of extra minutes and want to head over to Apple Podcast, please leave us a rating and a review. We are up to 571 by last count star reviews.
Oh, wow.
And we get new reviews all the time and so appreciate it. Honestly, I wish we could love, like, and whatever other positive thing, angry face. No, not angry face. We've got
wow. We could wow them.
wow them. Whoa.
Yeah.
We have gotten so many positive reviews, and it makes all the difference in our lives to know after 5 years that we're still connecting with new people. So we truly appreciate it, and we truly appreciate too the email responses that we've gotten from listeners. It really means so much to us, and it also helps other people find our podcast when they are looking for inspiration and maybe some pickle-related content. Also,
yes, pickle-related content is my specialty. It really does, Apple Podcast still kind of rules the podcast world. And the more reviews we have on Apple, the higher we get boosted in search results when people are looking for podcasts like ours. So it really does help. And, we are within striking distance of 600 reviews.
Striking distance.
So why don't you help us get to 600? We would really appreciate it. And another thing you can do is to just tell somebody about the show. That would be a big help to us. If you know somebody, if it comes up in conversation, if somebody is looking for something like we do, if you could just give us a shout out. If you're in a Reddit group about weight loss, if you're in a Facebook group, Instagram, and you could give us a shout out, that really helps us as well, and we would be grateful.
Yep. So if you're still not sure what is more important in a relationship, sports teams or dog cats, just remember that Donald and I are an inspiration.
What if your favorite sports team is the Dog Cats?
Asian.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.